WWE Saturday Night's main event for July 12th, 2025 is officially in the books, and we have quite a bit to get into. So even though this wasn't a massive card, there were two things in particular, three, that we really got to get into. So first and foremost, Seth Rollins appears to be injured, which is probably the biggest thing coming out of this show. Very unfortunate news. Goldberg has officially retired after a massive loss to Gunther for the championship. And then on top of that, we also have a Summerslam matchup that looks to be made. So let's get to it, guys. Saturday night's main event. I really have a lot of things that I need to get off my chest about today's show. There were things that went down on the show that I was not a fan of, that I was not in love with, and that I wish would have gone a different direction. The first topic we need to discuss is Seth Rollins' injury on tonight's show during a match with LA Knight. Now, this is so freaking unfortunate because anybody here who watches the product knows that Seth Rollins is involved in a lot of different storylines. He's part of a big group with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman. He has a lot going on. We are on the verge of a two-night SummerSlam, and clearly I think we were expecting some big matches there for Seth Rollins. Even tonight, we were expecting cash-ins. He's the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. There's just a lot going on with Seth. And on top of that, you never want to see anyone get hurt. Anytime anyone gets injured, it always sucks. Now, when it happened, I was doing a watch along and I kind of saw like the tail end of when he landed on the moon after the standing moonsault, but I didn't necessarily see what had happened, right? So he sits down in the corner and he's kind of talking to Paul Heyman and the referee. And at this point, I'm legitimately thinking that Seth Rollins is working. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's just playing possum and he's trying to, maybe throw off LA Knight and he's going to use this to get the win on LA Knight. That's honestly what I thought. And then when LA Knight, when they continued the match for like a split second and LA Knight got the win, I thought, what? No way. Like, this isn't Seth Rollins working. This shit is legitimate. Like, he is actually hurt. And I really wanted to believe that it was a work for later on in the night because many people had speculated that Seth Rollins might actually be cashing in on Goldberg had Goldberg won his match. And that was really the hot prediction going into the show. And then, but when LA Knight actually won, that was the moment that we thought, oh my God, Seth Rollins might be legitimately injured. So I went back and I rewinded to go rewatch everything that had transpired. And it was during that standing moonsault that he did that when he landed, his leg just went like kapoosh. And it was just oh no. Like, this is not good. Seth Rollins is just one of those guys you cannot lose at the moment. So that's where we're at, guys. Seth Rollins, as of right now, there's no additional as of this video, there are no additional news bits or anything that has been said. There's been videos that are going around of Seth Rollins having to be walked out and whatnot, but that's about the extent of it all. We don't really know anything else. And some people were waiting, oh, maybe if he comes out later tonight, he was just working us. But unfortunately, it just did not happen that way. So we'll probably have more information on Seth Rollins in the hours to come, or hopefully in the next day or so, or who knows how long it'll take. But as of right now, that's where we're at with Seth Rollins. And that really sucks, guys. Like, I can't believe it. As a joke, when we were watching the watch along, when we were doing it all, I even said like, oh, what are the chances of LA Knight even winning this match? And everybody was like 0, 5%. And then God, that's where we ended up. So it was for unfortunate circumstances though. So I felt really bad for Seth Rollins, wishing him the very best. And hopefully it's not major, but then again, these cases usually are, but let's pray for the best. But in the meantime, I want to go ahead and get into the next topic. And the next big topic on this show is Goldberg's last match, everyone. It has officially happened. That is it. And it's weird because we had spent so much time talking about this. I feel like I talked about this 1,000 times, which was, hey, what's going to happen with Goldberg and Gunther, and what's going to happen with Seth Rollins? Is he going to cash in? And God, there's just so much of a big conversation over what was going to happen here. Is Goldberg going to actually defeat Gunther? Is he going to walk out champion? There was so much conversation around this that by the time the match came and went, I thought, that's it? No way. That's it? There's got to be more. Like, I got to have more to talk about during this. I honestly kind of felt bad for Goldberg here because I thought this was such a really bland way to have your last final match in pro wrestling. Say what you want about Goldberg. Goldberg had a hell of a career, okay? He was a massive star in WCW. He was huge. He was huge. And I think for his career to end tonight with this match, it felt just so ordinary. It didn't feel special. It didn't have it didn't feel big at all. The match was really nothing good. We had a bunch of commercials. It ended up going longer than we anticipated, but I'm guessing they were filling for time. And at the end, we felt like we were running out of time, so go figure. But there was nothing monumental in this matchup. But the way that Gunther won was that he ended up choking out Goldberg, and Goldberg just, goes out and the arm falls, and that's it, man. And so I just thought, I can't believe that this is it. I can't believe that that's it. And I look up at the clock, and we still got 3 minutes left on this broadcast, right? And suddenly I'm thinking, okay, well, we're going to spend the last 3 minutes. Probably Goldberg is going to stand up, he will get an applause, and maybe he'll cut a promo, all of this stuff, right? And then we freaking go to commercial right before this man just wrestled his last match, and we go to commercial. It was so weird, the timing of that. And I know the running joke is that Saturday night's main event has so many commercials, but hey, I get it. That's how they make their money, right? That's how it works. But damn, this was such a moment to go to commercial. It felt so weird. And here's the other thing. When we came back, he did get a chance to say a couple of words, but this felt so rushed. It was nice that he had family and friends and people like that surrounding him, and all of these other peers in the business and whatnot that were out there to support him. But it really, truly felt like, okay, you get 2 words and then that's it. Like, this is over. We're done with. You got to finish things up. He tells people he loves it. It loves them. It just happened so fast. And I thought, man, this just felt so rushed. And if at the ending of his promo felt so rushed, I felt like he didn't get a proper, really get to feel in, soak in the moment. And then the match just was not anything. It was not anything really to say or to talk about. Some big moments that happened in it was he went for the spear. Gunther moved. He ended up going straight to the barricade. In the beginning of this match, Gunther hit him with a couple of chops, and obviously Goldberg was like, nope, that's not good enough. And so that happened there. His son Gage got shoved by Gunther a couple of times on the outside. That also went down. And then in the ring, he hits the spear, he hits the jackhammer, and then we end up seeing Gunther kick out, and then eventually Gunther gets him and chokes him out. So that's what we saw in this match, and that was it. So it just felt kind of I don't know. It felt like it was just missing. It felt like it was missing the spark, the life, and then afterwards it was just over. So I kind of felt like, damn, that's it. That was literally all I could think of. That is it. And it was kind of a bummer, honestly. I felt bad. So anyways, that's what happened with Goldberg here today in his career. That's it. He retired. It's done with. It's weird. It's weird to even say it the way we're saying it. This feels just so bland, so bland. That's it. That's all I've got for you. But the other bits that I need to get into, and this is the part that I didn't really love the way that the structure of the Goldberg match went. There was really nothing major that happened there. It was just very straightforward, which I guess is fine, right? For a lot of people. But I was just expecting a little bit more there. But so I didn't really love that. Then the other thing that I didn't love was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. And it wasn't because of the particular match. I did not love the ending. Freaking Jelly Roll, who was out there, and Logan Paul, who was out there, getting into a squabble on the outside. And that distracts Drew McIntyre. And that's how Randy gets the win. I hated that. I hate how they kind of made Drew McIntyre look like a chump by getting distracted by all of that. And I'm thinking, come on, like Drew McIntyre is so much better than that. He deserves so much better than that. And it just felt like they were really sort of sacrificing whatever they have with Drew McIntyre to put over this stuff with Jelly Roll. And I get it. I get exactly why they're bringing Jelly Roll in. Like, nobody needs to explain it to me like I'm 5. I get why Jelly Roll is there. He's big in country music. I don't listen to country music, but I've been told he's been big in country music. And so he's going to be there. And hopefully they're hoping that attracts some new eyeballs, right? And he's been training, and he's going to now make his SummerSlam debut. He is going to be wrestling in a tag team match. Jelly Roll will be teaming up with Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Here's why I kind of have a problem with this. I kind of have an issue with this because this is a big deal SummerSlam. At least I think it should be a big deal SummerSlam. This is a 2-night event. This is supposed to be massive. And you have Drew McIntyre, who is one of your biggest guys, one of the hottest feuds with CM Punk the last year. And he's just in this tag team match. And I get it. Again, Jelly Roll, he's famous. I get it. Cool. We couldn't find somebody else to throw into this. I feel like Drew McIntyre should be in a different match. Randy Orton, same thing, should be in a different match. And even Logan Paul, for crying out loud. I know a lot of people hate Logan Paul, but even then, he could have probably even be in something else. But primarily Drew and Randy, I just feel could have been doing something that had much more substance in pro wrestling. Now, some of you guys are saying, well, Denise, he's in there with this really famous person. Great, cool. I think we could have found somebody else to do all of that with. I really wish that we would have seen these guys in much bigger matches, because this to me it just doesn't feel huge. I'm almost hoping these guys have a second match the following night or whenever. Who knows? This could be on the second night of SummerSlam. I don't know when it's happening, but the point is that it just doesn't feel like a big match to me. Now, it may be to you, and I hope it is, especially if you are a Jelly Roll fan. And who knows? Maybe it'll be awesome. Maybe Jelly Roll will go out there and be kick-ass. We don't know. He could be. I hate to kind of disregard the guy, but I guess right now I'm still not. I'm gonna wait and kind of see kind of girl. When it comes to celebrities and wrestling, I wait and see until they come out and they perform, because once they come out and they perform, then okay, I'll determine whether or not I would like to see them again, right? For example, Bad Bunny, he went out there, did a hell of a job. Cool. I was happy when we got to see him again. If he comes back again, I'm cool with that, because I like Bad Bunny. I liked what he's brought to the table. I Show Speed. I didn't know who the hell Speed was. I'd heard of him, but I'd never actually seen his streams. But I knew he was popular. And so I was just like, whatever, right? But then he took that awesome spear from Braun Breaker. And I thought, oh shit, damn, bring Speed back again. I want to see him get another spear by Braun Breaker. So I'm a wait and see kind of girl when it comes to celebrities. So I wish Jelly Roll the very best. And I hope that he has a kick-ass moment in this matchup here. But this does not feel like a SummerSlam match to me, at least. Maybe I'm alone with this. Let me know in the comments section below how you feel about that. Now, the other thing that I want to get into for this show is Oh, surprisingly, the match that I was least looking forward to, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, kind of ended up being the thing I liked the most on the show because everything that happened made sense to what they were doing. Okay, you got the bloodline out there. You had Jacob Fatu come out afterwards after Solo, retained. Cool. The match was fun. I actually had a fun little time watching Solo and Jimmy. Then with Jacob Fatu going out there, getting his moment. I liked this. I thought this was completely harmless and felt completely appropriate to Saturday night's main event, which is funny because I was kind of thinking, I don't care about that. I don't really want to see that. And it ended up being probably one of my favorite things that we saw on the actual show. The other thing that I enjoyed on Saturday night's main event that I thought was good was Naomi essentially attacking Jade Cargill from behind, and they had a little brawl there. That was fun. However, they did name Bianca Belair the special guest referee for their upcoming matchup. You guys know this. I do not really like when they do special guest referees in these types of matches. I don't like it. I know why they're doing it because this is going to continue. I'm assuming that my prediction for that is that Bianca will accidentally kind of screw things up for Jade Cargill. And this is how we're going to move on with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, because Bianca Belair is still not a heel. She still technically hasn't done anything to Jade Cargill. And so for that reason, I feel like they're going to use this matchup to be the thing where Bianca messes up, because let's not forget, Bianca has been a referee and special guest referee in the past, and it didn't really go too well. And then she had even complained, like, hey man, like, I'm not even a good special guest, like, I'm not even a referee, like, I don't have any experience. So she had said this in the past. And so now she finds herself in a special guest referee role once again. And so I don't usually care for these types of things where they have wrestlers as special guest referees, but I think that's how it's going to play out, where she accidentally cause Jade Cargill to match with Naomi possibly, and that's what's going to lead to Jade Cargill and Bianca, which is a match that people definitely want to see at some point. So that was Saturday night's main event, everybody. And it was a short show, of course, these kind of things are, but regardless, that's what went down. So I kind of felt mostly on the side where I didn't love what we saw. One for a couple things storyline, and then of course the legitimate injury of Seth Rollins. Felt really, really unfortunate to see that. So again, wishing him the very best. Now, before we wrap things up, I do want to go ahead and let you guys know that chances are, if you bet on Saturday night's main event, maybe you guys came into some money with my sponsor, MyBookie. So in case you haven't heard, MyBookie is the place where you guys can go and you can do some live betting. You can check out the sports book and place your bets on pretty much anything: MLB, NBA, NHL, MMA, all of that. But here's the thing. One of the things that's relatively new is we're seeing more betting in pro wrestling. And if you watch Saturday night's main event, you could have also bet during these matches. Can you imagine if you would have bet on LA Knight, who no one was predicting was going to win this match? Like, you probably came into some extra cash. So you never know what's going to happen in the world of pro wrestling. But then on the bright side, the other thing is, if you do follow the product and you do follow pro wrestling, then you can also pretty much put two and two together and try to figure out what might actually happen on these shows. And right now, if you want to head on over to MyBookie, you still have time to enter for Evolution. You can place your bets. All of the matches are up. All of the lines are open for Evolution. You're seeing some of them on the screen right now, but there are still more. There's a lot of matches taking place at Evolution. So if you want the chance to not only sit down and enjoy some really good women's wrestling, but you also want to place some bets and make some money, MyBookie at mybookie.ag is the place to be, guys. I've been hanging out there. I've been placing my bets, and your girl has been making a little extra ching ching. And so if you want to do that too, head on over to MyBookie, mybookie.ag. use my promo code Denise and you get extra perks with this. You boost your bankroll. So, for example, if you deposit $50 to make your initial bet, you get an extra $25. That's nice. Now, let's say you deposit $100 to make your initial first bets on my bookie. Then my bookie will throw in an additional $50 in there. So you kind of have more money to play some more bets and all of that. So I would do that. Head on over to mybookie.ag, promo code Denise, and go enter. Whether you want to bet on pro wrestling or anything else, do it over at mybookie.ag. Alrighty, and with that being said, that is Saturday night's main event. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really thank you so much for being here. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you want daily pro wrestling content, reviews, news, interviews, original content. It's all here. And also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, check out this video right here, because this is the video that YouTube thinks you're going to like most out of any other video. So check them out. Bye, everyone.